Hi friends, it's Lindsey from the blog Books for Christian Girls. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. As y'all can tell from the title of this video, I will be purely discussing the books I reread in 2021, which is actually quite a few on this shelf. I say quite a few. It was about 16, I think, roughly, which I'm pretty satisfied with that. I'd hope to do more in this year, in 2022, which I'll be making a whole separate TBR video for that, so I hope you look out for that. So I have taken those 16 books and put them in kind of 4 categories and in order and a way to discuss these, and that is ones I didn't enjoy or didn't enjoy as much as the first time I read it, books I enjoyed about the same, kind of like a 3-star neutral rating, then books I enjoyed a bit more than the first time, and then ones I still really enjoyed, the rating didn't change, I just still really enjoyed it. I couldn't think of another way to explain those categories, but that's what I did, so I hope it kind of makes sense. If it didn't, hopefully it will make sense as I continue to explain the books. So the first book we're going to be talking about is in the didn't enjoy category, and that is So Not Happening by Jenny B. Jones, the 2020 updated edition. I had first tried to read the first edition of this book, which was published in 2013. I tried to read it back in 2015 and I DNF'd it. In the original edition, there was just a lot of pop culture references, which I really don't like. It easily dates a book, especially contemporary. And then just a lot of crude comments and humor that I just don't think were necessary. This updated edition was missing a lot of both of those, so I was going to give it a 2-star, but then there was a bonus scene at the end that I just really disliked seeing in a supposed to be Christian YA. Kind of got a little political, and I just didn't appreciate seeing that, so it's a 1-star. I really don't think this author's books are for me. If you're new to the Christian YA market and you've only read secular books, you'll probably be okay with it. But personally, I've been reading Christian fiction for so long, I like them to be on the cleaner side, and yeah, this just still wasn't it for me, so 1 star. The next book I will be discussing in the didn't enjoy as much category is Unrivaled by Siri Mitchell, which is a book I feel like I've talked a bit about on this channel, and I've had it on my bookshelf since I started this channel because I rated it. Daisy. My Daisy just has to be in every video. Daisy May. I originally though rated Unrivaled 4 stars back in 2014. I really enjoyed it. I think I still like the premise of it being set in the historical time period I love of the early 1900s, and they're from competing chocolate candy factory families, and I really like that aspect. It's very much the enemies to lovers though, which isn't my favorite trope to say, and if you enjoy that you would probably be fine with it, but Lucy just could, once it was revealed on who they were, because they got along fine, but then once it was revealed their last names and what family they were from, it was like a switch just flipped on her, and she was just almost so hateful to him, and even at one point saying that hell was too good of a place for him, and that just really turned me off. I was just very disappointed. I don't know, when I read that one when I was younger, if I was just very much into the romance books at that time, because I was 14, 15 then, so I don't know, but yeah, it just didn't settle with me well, this read through, so I actually unhauled it. The factory parts and the marketing elements of that time period were very fascinating to me, but yeah, unfortunately it's just, I was really disappointed that I'm just I don't remember all of this, so yeah, unfortunately. The next category is books I enjoyed about the same, and the first book for that is Prom Queen by Melody Carlson. This is book 3 in the Kingston High series, something like that. This is not my favorite series by her. If I'm going to pick up a Melody Carlson teen drama-filled series, it's going to be either the Carter House Girls or the On the Runway series. Those are the 2 I really have enjoyed. They're kind of guilty pleasures. But this series, not too much. This one I gave 2 stars, which I'm pretty sure I gave that same rating back in 2014. I read a lot of books in 2014, but yeah, it's just not my favorite because of all the drama with the boys and the friends, but it's now officially reviewed on my blog, so there's that. And then just to knock out a few middle grade, I have 3. I do own these, but they're way up top, and I don't feel like getting them down, so I apologize. And those 3 are Kate and the Wyoming Fossil Fiasco by Janice Hanna. I still gave that one 3 stars. Alexis and the Lake Tahoe Tumult? Tumult. I don't know how to pronounce that. By Rodgers, 3 stars. And then also McKenzie's Branson Brainteaser by Shari Barr. I also gave 3 stars. Those are all books in the Camp Club Girls series. I enjoyed them. I'm a little above their target market, but yeah, it's still a cute series. I gave them 3 stars. I do own them, but they're way up on a high shelf that I don't really want to reach right now. So, yeah, about the same. Nothing really to comment on those. And then the first book I get to actually hold up is Spring Creek Bride, and that's by Janice Thompson, one of my favorite authors. I enjoyed this one about the same. I gave it 3 stars, I'm pretty sure, last time and definitely this time. It's following a girl who, her and her family run the small town's mercantile store, and here comes this newbie to the town going to open a gambling hall right next to their store, and obviously she is a fit to be tied, and they kind of butt heads, and you've got the redemption arc. It's super clean, but I think I gave it 3 stars both times, mainly because in the first half, both of them kind of annoyed me, but then because of character development at the later half, the last half, it got better. But yes, 3 stars. And then the last book in this category of books I enjoyed about the same is No Ocean Too Wide by Carrie Turansky. I still cried. It still ripped my heart out, but I wanted to reread this first book before the much-awaited sequel, No Journey Too Far, came out. Still gave it 4 stars. Still cried. But I just love the family bond in this and how important it is. It's really interesting reading about this time period. However, it is just so sad because families were torn apart, and it's just a hard read, but I love how she always includes such a hopeful message in her stories, and that's what really made it good. So yes, I reread this one. For our third category, we have books that I enjoyed a bit more than the first time I read it, and that would be The Perfect Blindside and The Unexpected Role by Leslea Wahl. I think originally I preferred The Perfect Blindside, but this read-through, I think I enjoyed An Unexpected Role a bit more. I just thought it was very fun. They are contemporary YA with a mystery element, a bit of romance, and they're just very fun, overall very clean, enjoyable books. And then I got to read for the first time the sequel to this book and then the novella that connects these 2 books. So it was fun. Both of them now have 4 stars, and I enjoyed them. And then our fourth and final category is all about the books that I reread and enjoyed just as much as the first time I read them. No change in my fangirling for them. Not at all. And I actually have these ranked, kind of. So, here we go. The first book is Twinepathy by C.B. Cook. I still really enjoyed this very clean, no Christian content, but very clean book about superheroes. Really looking forward to reading book 3. This is book 1, and then I read book 2 for the first time last year. But yes, really enjoyed this one. My next book is one of my absolute favorite historicals, and that is Love in Disguise by Carol Cox. It was my 3rd time reading it, and I still gave it 4 stars. The plot it makes me absolutely giddy, and as a plug, if you have Kindle Unlimited, it is free on there, so what are you waiting for? Go download it. But I talk about this book so much because I just enjoy it so much. But our main girl is Ellie, and she is a costume maker in the 1880s, and she is suddenly out of a job when she discovers the Pinkerton Detective Agency is hiring, and she attempts to get one and it doesn't go well, so she does it again in a disguise, and she gets a trial run on a case about silver shipments being stolen in Arizona. So she poses as a middle-aged widow, but something happens to her partner and she's not able to come. So not only does Ellie have to play our middle-aged widow, she also has to play her very dazzling, very vibrant niece, Jessie, at the same time in a very small town. I smiled so much when I read the antics of this book and like the whole just enjoy it. I enjoy the hidden identity so much. I love the mistaken identity trope. This is just that so much, and it's just so humorous and fun. And it's free on Kindle Unlimited, y'all, so just go check it out, will you? Because I can't stop raving about this book. I hope I did okay with giving y'all like a little mini synopsis of like the back cover. I hope. It's not my forte, so I apologize, but it was so cute. I really enjoyed this one. It's still one of my favorites. This next trilogy I also read during the Texas Freeze. I got done like 6 books and a novella during those 4 days. But that was the Regency Spies of London series. I adore this series by Melanie Dickerson. I would easily say it's my favorite by her. More so than like even her fairy tale retellings. I just really, really enjoy this series. And it's a spy's devotion, a viscount's proposal, and then a dangerous engagement. Unfortunately, because we were so busy freezing during the freeze, I didn't write down my thoughts on these, on like which one did I enjoy more. But I think this time I enjoyed A Spy's Devotion, the first book, a bit more this time. But I still gave them all 4 stars. Still very fun reads. I'm aware I'm mentioning a lot of books that have spies or secret agents in them. But I like those books, y'all. So yes, I reread those. I still really enjoyed them. I'm still really happy to own them. And yes, they are also, though, free on Kindle Unlimited, in case you need recommendations. There you go. The next book I reread in 2021 was Porch Swing Girl by Taylor Bennett. I still gave this one 4.5 stars. It's wonderful. I've talked about this book a lot, so I won't say too much, but yes, really, really enjoyed it. And by rereading this book, that meant I finally got to read book 2 and book 3 and 4, and yes, so very happy to have reread this one and continue on with the series. And then my second to last book I will be discussing today is Like a Flower in Bloom by Suri Mitchell. I reread this one and still kept its 5-star rating. It was still just so good. It's one of my favorite historical books. Don't you love this cover? Tell me you love this cover. It's absolutely gorgeous. But it is set in 1852 following our main girl Charlotte, and she has been the assistant for her very well-known father, who happens to be a famous botanist. And unfortunately, due to her meddling uncle who has convinced her father, she needs to get married and enter society. So she kind of loses all of her assistant work and it's given to this new guy. And they have a lot of really good banter, and of course there's a lot of plant stuff. And Charlotte just shocking society. And I just really, really enjoyed this one. It's humorous, it's very sweet, very light romance. But yes, just a lot of banter that I really enjoyed in this one. And then my last book is Right Where I Belong by Chris McGee. It was my 3rd time reading this book, and it got a 5-star rating each time. It's just a classic in my eyes, but it's not outdated. If you've ever branched into Christian YA, I feel like you've probably read either one of the books from this trilogy or her dystopian trilogy, which starts with Anomaly. I love both of them so much. Just the faith content, though, in this contemporary trilogy is just excellent. I don't know what really to say about this one, because I feel like probably most of y'all have read it. Like if you've read Christian YA, maybe you've read this one probably. If you've ever dabbled into Christian YA or contemporary Christian YA, it's a classic. I really, really enjoy it. The faith content is just awesome. I love it. Yes, it's just a super, super sweet, very wholesome romance between the two. And yes, I just really, 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 really enjoy this book. It's so cute. Her hunger to know more about the Lord, and it's just so sweet. Okay, I'm going to just keep fangirling, but yes, really, really enjoyed this book. Obviously, I've read it 3 times now, and they each got a 5-star rating. So, technically, it'd be a 15-star rating if you want to say that. Maybe. But, yes, really, really enjoyed this one. Oh boy, okay, so I'm going to try, keyword try, to pick these up. Ta-da! We have a little one at the bottom. That's not going to work. Let's put that at the top. There we are. Okay, here are some of the books I reread in 2021. Woohoo! I've actually been rereading a lot more in the past couple of years. Come on. I'm going to set those down. Those are heavy. But I've actually been rereading a lot more in these past couple of years because I'm finding it harder to find books that interest me that are completely new to me or are newly published. And I'm just like, you know, content-wise too, I'd like to be selective on that. And so I've just been rereading and revisiting old favorites, which is exciting because there's been a few that I'm like, I don't remember what happens in this one. As you will see in my next video, there's quite a few that I plan to reread that I'm like, I don't remember anything about this book. So it's neat because it's not quite like a meeting them and rereading it for the first time, but it's pretty close because it's been almost a decade since I've read some of those. So yes, it was really neat to reread these though. Some of them, these weren't really like ones I had read years ago, with the exception of those first two books I read. Those were years ago, but these were just like a couple years ago, maybe the year before, and I've reread it for the sequel releasing. But yes, there we go. Those are the books I reread. Do y'all reread books often? I would be curious to know. I feel like it's kind of like not a common thing on booktube or even bookstagram. I feel like it's not that common, but I do remember a lot of people, myself included, cheering when Goodreads finally added that feature that you could have a book read more than once. That was a beautiful day. It'll be an even more beautiful day when they finally say we can have half-star ratings, but that is neither here nor there. So yes, I would love to know if you've read any of these. I feel like these are like the ones I have physical that I just showed y'all. I really, really enjoyed those. Those are some of my favorite books, actually, of all time. Like, my favorite books, a few of those. So, yes, ta-da. Now I'm going to go fix my bookshelf, and I will see y'all next time. So thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate y'all's support, and I will see y'all in my next video. I am Lindsey from the blog booksforchristiangirls.blogspot.com, where in 2022, there is a new review every Monday and Friday. I'm hoping to have a new video on this channel every other week. Maybe on a Thursday or a Friday, and I'm on Instagram somewhat randomly, but I'm trying to do better. So I will see y'all next time. Thank you so much.